I'll be taking you through everything in reverse. That is, I'll show you how to harvest, I'll show you how to withdraw your liquidity that's been staked, withdraw your liquidity from a pool as well, and get your ADA and MIN tokens out so that you could possibly sell your MIN tokens if you want, or sell whatever token you have, or buy more, stake more liquidity. I'll take you through a whole process. There have been some issues and whatnot as well, so I'll take you through some of those things so you can understand what's been going on and have a better idea and feel of how to actually use the DEX as it is at the moment. All of this coming up in this video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Peter Bury. I'll be taking you through all this stuff around MinSwap along with a couple of other announcements. If you haven't already, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on the notification bell. Everything I talk about is around the Cardano ecosystem. So if you're wanting to learn more, please subscribe. You'll get more and more information as I go through various things. So Adana have released a little bit of information around their ISPO, or at least a start date, and some of this loyalty bonuses that they're putting in place. So you can delegate to one of the Adana Stake Pool Alliance pools from April the 1st, and they'll be taking that snapshot at that date and then starting the ISPO, the actual ISPO, from July. Now, if you delegate to one of their pools for a certain period of time, you get these extra multiplier bonuses. If you manage to get 50 days, which starts from the April 1st, you get that 1.5 multiplier bonus for loyalty of delegating to the particular stake pool. If you manage to stake for the whole 100 days, then you get that 2x multiplier. So you get twice as many Dana tokens for delegating to one of the ISPO pools. So that's a really cool little initiative to help incentivize you as a delegate to be loyal to a particular stake pool. So a lot of these stake pools are on the smaller side, and supporting them really helps decentralize the Cardano blockchain. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes. There aren't too many more details around this just yet, but as soon as I get more information, I will let you know. I do have another video all about the Adana ISPO, and you can check it out in the top right-hand corner there to learn a little bit more about it. Now, one of the issues that people have been having in general in using MinSwap or SundaeSwap is collateral issues. They'll get this little message that pops up in the corner of the screen that's saying, you haven't set any collateral. I keep on getting this question asked, where on earth do I set the collateral? How do I set collateral? What is collateral? So the collateral is there to protect your wallet from being completely wiped from a failed UTXO transaction. So if a transaction doesn't work out too well, if you had collateral set, the collateral gets used and spent up instead of wiping out your entire wallet and accidentally sending it elsewhere. So in CC Vault, to set that, you go to your one of your accounts, one of your wallets, you click on settings, and then scroll down to collateral. They've got a little checkbox here, not a checkbox, enable button. Well, I don't know what they call it these days. You click on that, and that will automatically set the collateral for you. You may have to sign a transaction if there isn't a spare address or UTXO available, and that will set that all for you so that you can actually use the DApp, whatever DApp you're using. Now in NAMI wallet, it's a little bit different, but you can click on the NAMI wallet, click on settings, click on collateral, set the collateral there, and it works in a very similar way. Now, if you're trying to trade and work out what the price of MIN is in terms of its history and price, you can actually do so by looking at MuesliSwap. So MuesliSwap is the only DEX out there that has the flowing price, and you can watch the price of MinSwap, of MIN, I should say, in particular, as well as all the other tokens in the Cardano ecosystem that they're trading. But you can see the price of it rising and falling so that you can trade accordingly as well. So it's a very useful way. You can view by day or view by hour, and you can watch the price of MIN go up and down. So you can actually know when is a good time to sell out. And the price is slowly trending upwards at the moment. So if you want to withdraw your MIN tokens, maybe now is the time. So now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I'm going to take you through the harvesting process and getting liquidity out of the DEX so that you can actually sell your tokens, whatever it might be. So at the moment, I'm going to go through and harvest my rewards from my ADA World Mobile particular pool here, and I'm going to put that back into my ADA Min pool here. Now, I've gone through and actually harvested a whole bunch of rewards before, and it has taken a little while to actually get those rewards back. So all these Min tokens that you harvest here, it goes through a particular, I think it was called a chef batcher, and that takes a little while for it to be distributed to you. So it's something that you need to note. It's a two-step process, and I'll talk you through the mechanics of how this whole process works and actually look at the UTXO so you know how it's divided up, how it's split, and what smart contracts are actually being executed. Now, something else that you may want to be aware of is the actual load on the blockchain as well. So I'm just going to go to the homepage of Pool PM, and here is a nice little indicator. Let me just zoom in for you so you can actually see that a little bit better. But you can see the 1 hour and the 24-hour load, and at the moment it's a little bit lower than normal than what it has been. So it's been a little bit slow for me today. So it's at 72%. Normally today it's been at 81. So it has been a little bit slow in regards to some of the transactions, but hopefully at 72% it should speed things up. So let's go ahead and harvest some of these rewards here. So I'm going to click on harvest on the ADA World Mobile Token Pool. Now what this will do, this will fire up a transaction. So now it's writing a transaction for me, and it's going to send it to my Nami wallet. And there's a transaction. So let's actually have a look at what this transaction is actually doing for me. So it's going to hit a smart contract, and a couple of things are going to happen. So my liquidity pool tokens are going to adjust. I'll get this other weird token here. I don't know what that is. I can't tell. And then on this side here, I get harvested min. So this is harvested min tokens that will go off and be sent to me once this has been processed. So let's go back one more time and sign this particular transaction. There we go. You could see the number there, the reference 14.154144, and that was in that particular transaction as well for harvested min. And like I said, that gets sent off to another smart contract, and from that contract it will say, okay, great, I know where I need to send this, and it will send it to you at a later date. Not a later date, but it takes a few hours to do. If you have a look at my Nami wallet history here, and I'll click on history of transactions. View and explore. So I'm just going to click on that so I can actually get that transaction when it comes through. But let's have a look at my history here. And these transactions here actually come from that master chef batcher that is cooking up the harvested min rewards. And if I just expand this out, you can see my min tokens come through. So this was harvested min from the main ADA min pool here. This one here, I can't remember where I harvested from. It was either from CNETA or Dana, one of those two. So I get them mixed up. So this one's probably from CNETA because it's a much smaller amount. And I've got a lot less liquidity there. You can see I've only got 21 staked. So it's probably from that one. And then this one here had the Dana tokens. So yeah, that came through. Let's check the timestamps of that again. So this one was 2 hours ago, this is 3 hours ago, and this was 5 hours ago. So you can see like I did it all at the same time, but it's almost a 2 hour difference here and an hour difference here. So it's a very different how long it takes for these processes to get through. So there's a lot of activity that MinSwap is producing at the moment to actually get this done and process through. So, okay, so I've just harvested that. The transaction probably hasn't hit my wallet yet. It does take a little while. From experience today when playing around with it, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes at the moment to get everything through. A couple of transactions did only take 2 minutes to process as well. So that's probably the fastest I've seen at the moment. Now, another tip for you that I've found is that once you've started and started harvesting one, you may want to go and harvest another, but that last transaction hasn't actually been submitted to the blockchain yet. If you look at the blockchain, this is the hash of that particular transaction. I can refresh this and confirm it has not hit the blockchain yet. It is still being submitted via my Nami wallet. Now, I've done something a little bit cool with Nami wallet as well. We've got a custom submit API which is our own private endpoint to submit these transactions to the blockchain for our ADA Oz delegates. So if you're on our Discord server, you'll be able to access that and you can find out exactly how to get to it. But we're submitting our transactions directly through there, so all of our delegates are. It's a little bit less congested than some of the other services out there. You can use freeloaders, for example. They're very similar. But if you're using Nami Wallet, CC Vault, they have their own infrastructure that they're using. Sometimes it does get a little bit busy. Other times it's perfectly fine. So we're using our own private one so we can bypass any of that congestion on the network. Okay, so that transaction has just gone through. It's taken about 15, 16 minutes to go through. So I'm just going to refresh it. There we go. So it's literally just happened. It's gone through 2 confirmations. So it still may not appear on the actual DEX itself. So let me just have a quick look on the DEX. And where I harvest? Oh, there we go. Cool. So I can see the min earned already go down. So let's have a look at the actual transaction and see what's happening here. So we can see the address where everything comes from, and that's my address there. That's fair enough. So we can see a little bit comes from other parts of the wallet. That's fine. But then when the actual sending to, it goes to a couple of different addresses. So it goes to one address here, another address, and then everything else left over goes back to my wallet. So I can see about 3.9 plus transactions fee. So it's like just over 4 ADA that was used. One part goes to here. Which looks like liquidity pool tokens and particular assets, liquidity pool tokens as well. And then this one here is my harvested MinSwap tokens. It's pronounced as HV min, and then how much min tokens that were being pulled out. And that corresponds there, that 14.154144 min tokens that were harvested. So this actually here, let me just open that one up. This goes to a smart contract. So here we can see that it goes to a contract of some sort. It has a whole bunch of ADA in there, and the transactions are hitting this particular contract at a particular point in time. It's invoking it and then sending out the min tokens that are being harvested. And I can actually see how many min tokens are being harvested off various different transactions here. So I can see some other people are earning a lot more min tokens than I am. And we can see what's actually happening. Now, I don't know whose wallets these are, but I can see that the smart contract is processing all of them. So great, we can see that all happening there. We know what's happening behind that particular transaction. So that should actually have hit my wallet because it's hitting a smart contract. So a smart contract's pretty much instant. So let me load up that wallet again and double check that. Yep, okay, so this little icon here, this is a smart contract icon. So that means it's happened straight away. That's why my min here disappeared straight away, and my wallet balance is slightly different now as well. Great, so now I've harvested my rewards. That's cool. So let's go and withdraw my ADA World Mobile balance here. And I'm going to click on withdraw, and let's say I just withdraw 25%. I just want a little bit of a withdrawal. I want to take some profit off the top, for example. So I'll click on that, say 25%. You can drag that to any amount that you want. The amount number here, I really can't differentiate I can't tell exactly what amount of ADA and World Mobile token I'll be getting, but if you keep track of that, you'll be able to work out the percentage of it. So if we click on withdraw, another transaction will come up from Nami Wallet. I have to wait another 14-15 minutes at the moment for this transaction to go through. But at the end of this, I expect to have my liquidity pool tokens in my wallet for after this. So here it's going to cost me 2.63 ADA for this particular transaction. So you can see doing a lot of this harvesting and whatnot is going to cost you a little bit of ADA. It's going to add up. So you're really hoping that the min tokens that you're harvesting, you can sell and cover this cost. So let's have a look at what's going on here. So the receiving asset that I get is the liquidity pool tokens of what I set there in that 25%. That looks okay. And the details here, I'll be sending off assets off to 2 smart contracts again. So this one here, let's see, this is harvested min. So each time you actually withdraw anything from the liquidity pool for that state, if you're withdrawing it, it will always harvest your min tokens at that point. So when I clicked harvest initially earlier, if I was also intending to withdraw some liquidity, I could have done that all in one step. I could have just clicked on withdraw and it would have harvested my min tokens as well as provided me with my liquidity pool tokens for that particular trading pair. So that would have saved me some transaction fees there. So that's a really cool tip that you can do as well. So let me just go back and sign this transaction. Now it's writing the transaction, it's submitting it via my wallet to a relay of some sort, and then that will be picked up by the blockchain and then submitted to MinSwap, so where MinSwap can actually read it and process my withdrawal. There we go, that's cool. That didn't take too long, so I'm going to click on that link there, and I'm just going to now have to wait for this particular transaction to fulfill so I can see it on chain as well. Okay, so my next transaction just came through as well. So here I can see liquidity pool tokens come through. And what was that from now? I can't remember. Oh, World Mobile token. So I can click on that transaction. Let's have a look at what's happened with that one. So it was this one here I had open, so I can refresh that. Yeah, okay, same one. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look into exactly what's happening with this transaction. So I can see the input addresses, so my input address and the smart contract up here. So that's what's happening there. This is a contract. I really don't understand any of that, so it's totally fine. And in this process, it's minting a couple of tokens in the process. So I can see my harvested min that comes out of that as well. So let's go back to the UTXO and see what's happening here. Okay, and the output addresses, one is going to a smart contract, another smart contract here for my harvested min that will be distributed to me later. It's not very much, but this ADA covers that, this ADA covers that one, and then whatever's remaining left over. So if I have a look here now, I should be able to see my liquidity pool tokens for World Mobile. I think that's them right there. But the way I can check that is now that it's out of the farm, I should be able to see it in the pool and then click on your liquidity. And there we go. I've got my World Mobile token liquidity pool tokens right there, as well as some other ones that I had left over from a little bit earlier. So that's it. That's really good. So that's key. That's the step that I wanted to get it back to just being in the liquidity pool and I'm not staking it in the smart contract. So now at this point, I can actually remove my liquidity from this one here. And let's say I want to remove just half of what I've put in. So I want to take the profit of half of it. Maybe I can do full whatever. So I'll just do 25% because this is just an example. So I've got that 25%. I can see one ADA is 1.24 World Mobile tokens. What's that in reverse? One mobile is worth 80 ADA. That's not too bad. Anyway, let's remove that liquidity. And again, another transaction comes up. So this one here, what does this one do? I lose something. So ADA goes out. So I'm paying for a ADA transaction fee. I'm losing an asset as well. So what asset do I lose? My liquidity pool token. So I lose a little bit of that. So let's have a look at the details here. Recipients goes to a smart contract. So I'm assuming this smart contract gets that liquidity pool token. It gets the additional liquidity pool token there. It gets the 4 ADA that is needed for the transaction. And then this smart contract returns me my liquidity pool pair, the ADA and the World Mobile token. So let's go back and sign this transaction here. There we go. That's a fast one. So let's have a look at that. Let's just have that open. And we'll wait a little bit longer and see how long this one takes. So it seems to be speeding up for me at the moment. That last one came through a little bit faster. So that was 7 minutes ago. So we'll wait for this transaction to come through. And then I'm not expecting this to come directly back to my wallet straight away. So I won't see World Mobile tokens straight away. And that's because the price fluctuates. And what it does is it sends it off to the orders, and the order is essentially a swap at that point for a particular price. So the amount of ADA that I should get is 25. The amount of World Mobile tokens is 31. So your pool tokens is that. So what I should see soon is that transaction execute, be accepted by the smart contract, and then I'll see it here appear in my queue, my order queue for withdrawals. And depending on the price, that will be executed, may or may not be executed, I should say. Now, if I go back there and go back to liquidity, now if I go back here again, click remove, do I have the option to set the slippage here? No, I don't. Okay. So the reason why this order here is stuck because it's because the price wasn't the same as when I withdrew it for when it was actually processed. So that's the problem with that one. So I actually have to cancel this one and redo that. But I actually don't want to move that position out. But if I wanted to, I'd have to actually cancel that and redo that again. And hopefully it's a little bit quicker to get that particular bit of ADA and Dana out. So that's why that one's stuck. But I'm actually going to cancel this one here. So I'm going to push that one back. So now because I'm canceling that's in a smart contract at the moment. So I'm going to get this back. I'm going to get one asset, which is the liquidity pool tokens. Yep, that's the one there. And a little bit of extra ADA that goes along with it. So I'm going to sign this transaction. Okay, what's this? Input did not confirm, spec otherwise invalid. Okay, so let's refresh the screen. Sometimes when I get those errors, oh, hang on, that's right. I can't cancel it because I am currently in the process of sending another transaction for pulling out that liquidity. So you can only do one at a time. I got excited here. I still have a transaction that is pending. It hasn't been sent through yet. So I'm waiting for that other transaction to go through before I can do anything. So it's only been 2 minutes. So let's wait for that one to go through and then I'll cancel this transaction here. All right, so that last transaction just went through there. So I can see the 4 ADA went out. What assets have I got? So that's my liquidity pool tokens leaving my wallet to go to that smart contract and hopefully get my, World Mobile and ADA back. So I should see, oh, there we go. We've got number 2 there. So if I refresh this screen now, I should see 2 pending. There we go. Great. So I have the World Mobile ADA there. It's queuing, waiting to be processed. And hopefully the price doesn't fluctuate too much. So don't end up in this position here where I'm with the ADA and data. So I'm going to cancel this one here. It's going to go through another transaction. Hopefully this one doesn't take as long as the other ones. Cool. So that previous transaction that I did before for the getting this World Mobile token out took quite a long time. It's fluctuating times on the blockchain at the moment, so it's a little bit annoying going through and recording this video for you guys because it's taking so long. Let me check how long ago I did my very first transaction. Clearing out this wallet, and let's see here. Just about an hour. So it's taken me about an hour to go through and do 4 transactions. It's a little bit painful, a little bit annoying. When before, at the very beginning, when MintSwap launched in the LBE, the liquidity bootstrapping event, the transactions were still quite fast. The blockchain load was around 50%. So everything was going quite well. So hopefully there's another parameter upgrade soon. I think there's a hard fork coming up. I can't remember the exact dates, but that should help speed things up just that little bit more again. So I'm looking forward to some of these upgrades. I know the next DEX that is launching very, very soon is Wing Riders. If you haven't seen that video that I did with Wing Riders, please check that out. Links in the top right-hand corner there. But their DEX is in testnet. They launched the second version of their testnet at the moment. And the next version on mainnet, I believe, is rolling out next week. And it'll be one of the very first decentralized exchanges where you can use your hardware wallet and sign transactions. It helps when you're the team that's actually writing the code for these nano ledgers and whatnot to sign the transactions, and you're the first ones to implement it. So pretty cool. Hats off to the team there at Wing Riders and Vacuum Labs. Okay, so that's pretty much gone through all of the withdrawal process. I haven't had a successful withdrawal from this part yet, but hopefully this last one goes through. This one's been cancelled now, so this ADA and Dana one's been cancelled. This one here has been executed and should be picked up by some of the processing queue, the Laminars, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's their version of a Sunday Swap scooper, but they'll be picking up the processes, the orders, and processing that withdrawal for me. So that will come very soon. But then I'm going to go through, hopefully when the blockchain isn't as loaded as it is at the moment, and I'm going to put in more liquidity, redo my positions here, because I do have a bunch of MinSwap tokens that are sitting around at the moment, and I rather have them in liquidity at the moment, earning that extra little bit on the yield farms rather than just sitting out in my wallet at the moment. So I will be going through that process and putting all that Min tokens back in. Okay. So that is it for me for this video. Hopefully you've understood the whole mechanics of how to actually get your liquidity back out from MinSwap and then trade it back onto the DEX, and then you can take it off to an exchange or and cash out, whatever you might want to do. So just to recap for you, the very first process, if you're staked in a yield farm, you need to get that staking out. You can save a transaction process there and do one transaction and just withdraw all of your liquidity. So that will withdraw it out of the yield farm, and then you have your liquidity tokens back in your wallet. From that point, with the liquidity pool tokens, you need to then withdraw out your liquidity pool tokens. Not withdraw out the liquidity pool tokens, but exchange them back for your ADA and Min or whatever trading pair it is. So that will be sent to another smart contract, and then that will get processed in the order queue that you saw here, this long order queue, whenever that will execute, and then you'll get back your particular tokens. So it's a two-step process there for it to actually get out from a locked contract. If you're just providing liquidity and you're just sitting here in this position here, it's just one transaction to get it back out. But because we're locked it into that smart contract on the yield farming, we have to take it out in a particular way, and that's how you do it. So if you really enjoyed this content, if you got something out of it, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, and click on the notification bell, and you hear more great Cardano content from me soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.